Good morning, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader coming at you here on a Wednesday, August the 6th. Once again, I'm having some issues. Every morning it seems I'm having some issues with NinjaTrader, and right now my funded accounts aren't loading, but we can at least still do our daily trade plan for today. Looking at the NASDAQ, this thing has definitely gone, starting to shape up to be a little bit sideways. Here's the question I've got for today. So yesterday we had the big move down, kind of tried to push back up and we fell apart. And then in the overnight, we've reclaimed a lot of that, but we still held below kind of in the middle of the day yesterday, this area around the 23,240. So right now, this definitely looks like we're really kind of in a stair step lower. If we can't reclaim the daily 20, which is sitting right here at the 219s, if we can't reclaim the daily 20 and get above this middle of the day high push yesterday, right around the 23,242s, if we can't get above that and push higher to try to reclaim this level to push back up into the highs, we might be falling below. And if we fall below the overnight low here, coming in around the 23,046s, that really could set up a beautiful short down into these lows around the 800s. And if we lose the 800s, then we've really lost a big area of support that we've had for quite some time. So that's the watch for today, I think, on the NASDAQ is, do we hold above the 800s? Do we see that slide, or are we just going to have one of these choppy sideways days? I kind of feel like it could be that kind of a day. I really do. For some reason, I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like we're in this sideways trend right now. We don't have a lot of news on the docket this week. I think the only red folder event is tomorrow. Let me just look at that real quick. I think tomorrow at 8:30 we have unemployment claims. That is it. There's nothing else for the rest of the week. So that may just lead to this sideways action on the markets. ES, very similar picture. There's a little bit more clarity here on ES. If you look at the slide down, and we pushed back out of here on Monday, and yesterday we did have the fall, the fall from the highs, so to speak. And then here in the overnight, we pushed up to where? We pushed up right exactly to the overnight lows coming in from Monday night. To me, that looks pretty bearish. We were not able to break the Monday lows. We rejected right off those Monday lows, and we're now down into this key area around the 6340s. So very similar picture. If we can't push up, and honestly on the ES, we really need to reclaim the high of day from yesterday. We really need to get above about the 6380s. If we can reclaim that, then we have some juice to push higher. If we cannot, and this thing continues to slide lower and we stay below the daily 20, sitting here around the 6348s, and if we lose out of the 6313s, then we're probably going to see that slide lower. If we lose this area around the 6260s, really might be more like the 40s. If we lose this area here, then we're probably going to see a pretty big slide, because we've had a pretty straight up move here from about the 6125s straight up pretty much to the 6224s. So that's a 100-point move pretty much. And that's a pretty big move on the ES. And so if we lose that area, that is something to really be on the lookout for a big move back down. Should be a pretty straight move back down because of that move up. So I think that's really the watch today on the ES, is the high from yesterday, the low from yesterday. I'm not really interested in anything in between, honestly, unless it's really a really good setup. But I want to see what it does. Do we hold the lows from yesterday? Can we break above these highs? Does this bearish little move continue and we continue to bleed lower? And if that's the case, we obviously need to look for shorts. So obviously this move in the overnight last night didn't get up, or it got up higher and retested that overnight low from Monday. We did not get that big of a move on the NASDAQ, which is also another thing that leads me to believe that maybe we're going to be more bearish or slash sideways today on the NASDAQ and on the ES. Dow Jones. So yesterday I talked about this 44,430 range. I did miss that trade yesterday. We did have a nice winning trade here, shorting this area around the 44 180s. Did catch that. However, in the overnight session, we pushed back and reclaimed all of yesterday's down move. We did try to make a little move above the 40s or the 44 30 range, this red yellow big red line, but we have not been able to hold, and it looks like we're in another rejection area. So this one is very similar. I mean, you can look at this. This is a very, very key area. And if we lose that, we're probably going to see further downside. High of day from yesterday, low of day from yesterday, definitely going to be in play on the Dow Jones today. The question is, does this reclaim this morning and push, or are we going to see another rejection? If we do see another rejection, I really don't want to miss it. But I also don't want to just, go in with, the expectation that, I think this is just going to reject and we're going to, lose this level. We really need to make sure that the setup is good. But this has definitely been a big reaction area recently, and a big reaction area, honestly, for the last several months. So anytime we've been at this level, this has been pretty interesting. So we'll see. If we do get a rejection here, that definitely could set up a short. And if we lose this low of day from yesterday, we're probably going to see further downside. So big watch again today on the 44 430s. Russell, pretty similar. I do feel a little bit more bullish on the Russell, but we are probably more sideways. Honestly, we're right at the spot where we need to hold, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're right at the spot that needs to hold on the Russell. In the overnight session, we pushed up above yesterday's high of day. We have fallen back down right to that, and this would be an excellent break and retest. Long, what does it look like on the 2-minute chart? Yeah, we're holding perfectly. I don't like the fact that we're below VWAP. But if this was in the New York session, I would really be looking at getting long here. You could have a stop really, really tight. So it's a very, very low risk trade. Obviously we'll see. We're still pushing, and we're going to lose that level. We're going to lose this the way it looks. The order volume delta is definitely pushing lower, so we'll see. Maybe it holds, but that is an area that, in my opinion, needs to hold. If we lose this and we start to slide down in here, then we're probably setting up a kind of a sideways or a downtrending day while this thing is really trying to lose this level. So anyway, we will see. If we lose, really, honestly, I think you could almost say the high of day from yesterday, the low of day from yesterday is really the big areas to watch on all of the indices, the Russell, the Dow Jones, the ES, or the NASDAQ. But we'll be careful. Maybe there's no good trade today, and if that's the case, we try to walk away and just protect our capital. So right now I can't even trade anyway. I don't have my funded accounts loaded up. For some reason we're having some issues with that this morning, but we'll see. I'm still, the big watch is really, what do we do around the 44 430s? Does this come into play today on the Dow Jones? And what do we do on the ES? Do we stay below the overnight low from Monday? And if that's the case, that's probably a precursor to more downside or sideways action today. So that's the plan today. So again, thanks for following along. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully we can keep this green streak going if we do take a trade today, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care and so long.